To start off the play-in, we have the Miami Heat hosting the Atlanta Hawks, and I think this is just a real mismatch for the Hawks because historically Trae Young has really struggled against the incredible defense of the Miami Heat to the tune of scoring just 20 points per game on 36% from the field against them. And this Miami team is much better on the home than they are on the road, as they have a 27-14 record at home. And that's pretty legit. So I just think they're going to be able to defend Trae Young at a very high level. And though Deontay Murray is a good defensive player in his own right, it's hard to defend Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero. And that's even harder to do when you also have to keep in mind that Trae Young is a complete defensive liability. And the Heat are going to do their best to target him on every single play with their guards. So I think this is a mismatch. I think the Heat will win pretty convincingly. Despite the spread being larger for the Lakers and Timberwolves game, I actually think this is going to be a closer game than the Hawks game will be. And I still lean the Lakers though, as if you look at it from a duo perspective, would you rather have Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns or LeBron James and Anthony Davis? I think the answer is pretty simple. Maybe if you want to say, 5 years from now, that's going to be the Timberwolves for sure. But currently, the Lakers have the edge in that regard. And I think the loss of Jaden McDaniels is actually pretty large for the Timberwolves because you can have Anthony Edwards guarding LeBron in an ideal world, and you can have McDaniels guarding Davis ideally, but now you're going to have Gobert on Davis full time, and that's going to limit how effective Gobert can be because he's not going to be able to be as good of a help side defender. He's also going to possibly get into foul trouble, which will limit how much he can contribute in a whole setting. So I think the Lakers have this one. I think it'll be a good game, but I just think the Timberwolves aren't quite there yet, and the Lakers are overqualified to be a play-in team. The play-in game I'm most looking forward to is the Bulls and the Raptors, and I'm really split on it. I think the Raptors are an improved team at home, as like the Heat, they're 27-14 at home, but the Bulls are not helpless on the road, and I think it's hard to really gauge them because early on and even at the midpoint of the season, they were a pretty floundering team, but since getting Patrick Beverley, they've actually had some new life and have looked much better defensively, and just like they've given more of a dang as to what happens in the game. So I think the Bulls are on an upward trajectory, and I think the Raptors have been pretty consistent throughout the year. I don't think they've been too high or too low. With that said, DeMar DeRozan has struggled to score against the Raptors, as he's averaged just 14 points a game in 3 games against them, but he's done so efficiently, at least, as he's done it on 54% from the field. And he's not really a 3-point shooter anyways, so his limited percent or limited shooting from the 3 is kind of irrelevant to me. He's not really going to shoot the 3 in an ideal world anyways. I think the Bulls are actually going to upset the Raptors because so much of playoff basketball just comes down to you're giving the ball to your best guy and you're not really running plays for him. You're just hoping he can score on the guy that's defending him. and I trust DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine a bit more than Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet to score in those same situations. So I'm going to pick the Bulls in an upset. I'm really excited for the final play-in game being OKC and New Orleans. And I think it's really going to be a close game, despite 538 having New Orleans as a 71% chance to win. I think this is really going to be close. And in fact, I'm actually leaning OKC because Shea Gilgeous Alexander is the best player in this game. And really, Josh Giddey and Lou Dort and the Williams brothers they have are not a bad supporting cast. Their biggest issue is going to be on the boards, as Valanciunas could really dominate inside against them, as he's just such a big body, and the Thunder don't have anybody to really match up with him. But the Thunder are going to be able to attack inside as much as they want, basically, because the Pelicans have a great perimeter defense that allows opponents to shoot the worst 3% in the entire league, but the Thunder really aren't going to beat you through the three anyways. They're going to beat you with their great length and physicality as perimeter players. And really, I don't know if New Orleans can match up with that. I also think OKC is a much more athletic team as a whole than New Orleans is, and I think that will present an issue even as the game slows down in the playoffs. So, yeah, maybe I'm just a little crazy, but I'm going to go with OKC with the upset as well. Thank you for watching till the end, and be sure to let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and also please be sure to subscribe.